Hey, you did it! Oh, you did it, you sweater-wearing cutie. Oh, welcome back to another episode of my Big Fat Journey, everyone. So let's go ahead and start off with his update, which is his diabetes is definitely acting up. Okay, it's acting up quite bad. Essentially, he's got the sweater on with a button on the back. And what this button is it's injected into his bloodstream. It's called Libre. And essentially what I do is I hold my phone up to it and it kind of gives me its numbers as to what his glucose has been throughout the period of a day. And towards the beginning, it was like a damn roller coaster. It was going up, down, up, down, up, down. And right now, it seems to be leveling out with decreased insulin intake. Instead of being twice a day, right now I only am doing them about once a day. So I'm very, very happy with that little bit of news. His behavior seems to be very much better, and his stability seems like it might be improving a bit. So we'll just wait and see what happens, but my boy is still by my side. So let's go ahead and get on to my results. Okay, so we had Thanksgiving, right? And I said I was gonna go ahead and skip the company meal. And originally I was like, do I want to skip the company meal? Do I really want to skip it, or do I want to go ahead and partake a little bit? And I decided that I would leave it up to a coin toss. So I went and got a quarter, I did the coin flip, and I didn't even choose what heads or tails meant. I had another coworker choose what heads and tails would mean. So I had zero choice in any of this. And it decided to land heads, and heads was determined to be that I would not partake. So I did not. I left it up to fate to determine if I was going to take it on or off, and I went ahead and had it off. But I did partake a little bit. I did have some green beans. I'll put a picture here of how much I ate during the company little meal. And I'll tell you what, it takes a lot of self-control to not partake in anything else when there's a whole spread. So, but thankfully everyone around me really understood like how dedicated I am to this, and how even though the chance of the Christmas miracle happening is little, it's still something that I definitely want to try and go for. The amount of, I'm very appreciative to everyone for having my back on this. So that said, I did have my Thanksgiving though, and I ate a crap ton of food. At the beginning of the day on Thanksgiving, I weighed 254.8 pounds. That was before meals or anything. So I was already up at that point a pound, almost a pound and a half, 1.4 pounds. Now, I weighed in this morning expecting to have a gain. Of course, is to be expected. When instead, I ended up weighing in at 252.8 pounds, giving me a 0.4 pound loss. A 0.6 pound loss, sorry. Every point matters. 0.6 pound loss compared to last week. Wait a minute. Okay, the photo I'm going to put up here as proof actually has me another 0.2 lower, but that was after a shower. So I'm still gonna go with the 252.8, but I'm just absolutely blown away with that. If I was to go with the 252.6, that would put me at 225 pounds lost on the nose. My final results I'm gonna go with for this week is a weigh-in of 252.8, giving me a 0.6 pound loss, taking me to 224.8 pounds lost to this day right now. And we only got 14 pounds to go. We have 14 pounds to go with a total of 1, 2, 3, almost 4 weeks to go. And it's, like I said, it's not impossible to do. It's highly improbable to happen. The idea of even remotely getting close, like getting within the 245 underneath that would be awesome. But I'm just absolutely blown away by the results I've had thus far. I'm so freaking happy. I've had Thanksgiving. I had a cheat day where I ate a lot of food, a lot of carbolicious food, and yet I still came out with a 0.6 pound loss. I don't know how that happens. That doesn't happen, but it did. It did. So I'm very, very happy with what all happened. I'm really happy with how he's doing, and it's life has its ups and downs. Right now, I'm back into an upswing, and it has me very, very happy to finally be back on an upswing again. What was that? Here's the bad news, is that I'm a little sick now. Not hardcore sick, but a little bit sick. I've had a bad cough and some sneezing and drainage and stuff like that. So I think I got a little bit of that common cold, unfortunately. But I'll power through it. I'll get through it. Yeah, this week was just... It was just good. Got to enjoy a lot of food that I normally don't get to have. Like sugar cream pie. Woo! If you want the most carbolicious thing, just go ahead and make a pie out of sugar cream. And it was absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. If you've never had a sugar cream pie, you probably don't live in Indiana. That's the state pie of Indiana. I don't expect everyone to understand what I mean when I say sugar cream pie. But it was absolutely delicious, absolutely amazing. Also had some pumpkin, mashed potatoes, rolls. I had way too many rolls, honestly. But I found it fascinating, though, that I was able to enjoy myself, and then I was able to go ahead and maintain my ketone levels to still have weight loss. I thought it was going to kill all my ketones, but here I am. I'm still doing good. So I'm incredibly happy with how my body has been doing and the ketone level productions. And it has me excited and for as we get closer to Christmas. Because if I can keep these numbers up and I can keep the ketone levels going, and if I truly do have this figured out, I mean, I'm excited. I'm not so much excited for the Christmas miracle to happen. I'm just excited to see how much further these numbers can go. Because if I have this figured out, I pray that I have this figured out. Because if I have this figured out, this can be revolutionary for the keto world, I feel like. Because although many people who are experts in keto would be able to probably describe the addition of like the cheese crisps and whatnot helping with the ketones and whatnot, I want to try and make it in a way of where anyone can understand with no knowledge of keto at all. I want to have something so basic, plain, and simple that anyone can do this. And I think just saying, hey, add some cheese crisps during the night, I think that would be an absolutely amazing thing to be able to just tell people, because it's just like, hey, just eat just a little bit more of this and see if it helps you. Same with coconut oil. If you add coconut oil capsules, that was a huge turnaround point for me in the ketone productions. I just hope that I have enough knowledge by the end of this that I can truly make some differences in people's lives, because I want to report everything I've learned. I want to really badly. But I got to make sure what I preach is true. I got to make sure it's right. But the one thing I will end on is after Thanksgiving was done, I keep on having the same feeling over and over and over again of where food just isn't the same for me anymore. It just isn't. Food is something that I consume. It's just to kind of get me through the day now. Where originally food, like on Thanksgiving, is about stuffing your face and feeling good, feeling full, and feeling happy at the end of the day. Where now, as soon as Thanksgiving was done and I'm home, sure, I feel bloated and everything, but I don't feel the same mental rush of happicness that I used to, which I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's a turnaround point for me psychologically. The idea that my mind has finally changed enough psychologically that I will no longer really truly have to fear putting back on all this weight and going back to where I was again. That was the whole purpose of this. That was the whole purpose of this journey. The idea of doing a journey is great, but it's getting to the end and maintaining your position on top of that mountain of just saying, you did it, here I am, and I'm staying here. And that's the whole purpose of these journeys in the end. And as a whole hindsight, you got to do that. You have to stay there. You can't start to be like, okay, made it up, okay, come back down, and be right back where you started. You can't do that. I feel so good about myself mentally now, because food just doesn't hit the same. Sure, I can go out there and I can enjoy a candy bar, and in the moment, I will be like, wow, this is really, really good. Food doesn't taste any different to me. food psychologically affects me different, of where I don't need it as much anymore. It doesn't make me happy like it used to. Back in the day, I mean, that's how I got to where I was. The unhappiness was drowned out by food and food consumption. It is something I know I preached way long ago that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to really battle and conquer. But here we are. It does seem like something that my mental state has completely changed on. It's something I can definitely identify, which is really, really cool. I wanted to go ahead and report that little bit of information that I learned this week as well. And then I had one person who last saw me a year ago see me in person for the first time. And their reaction was, it was comical for me. It was fun. They were just so taken aback. Even though I don't see it as much as other people do, I know that it's definitely a drastic change. I mean, I fit in this chair now. I fit in this chair really, really well. And originally, the sides of my legs would press against these armrests really, really bad. And it was just really, really uncomfortable. Originally, there was just a lot of places I could not sit comfortably. And I can now. Driving in a car and having a good 5 inches between me and the steering wheel now is absolutely wonderful. This whole journey has been this one hell of a ride. Bunch of stuff I was never expecting. Can't wait to see what happens here in another month's time, because we're here. One more month, and then I'll be taking some time off. And then most likely into the new year, I'll be picking it back up regardless, because I know there's going to be a weight gain over that 2 weeks. I know there will be. But this journey will never end. I know that. And it became so much more than I ever thought. But that's going to do it for this week, though, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys back here next week. Good night.